Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy Gates Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, and as usual for the next couple of hours I'm going to be sat here live keeping you company while you paint your miniatures, while I paint my miniatures, whatever hobby stuff you got going on really. Just to let you know that normally I've got like a little stream deck here with lots of buttons and things, and they're not responding. I mean, they're on, they're just not working, so everything's going back to clicky old mouse days, so I might be a little bit slow on the uptake. But everything seems to be running quite smoothly at the moment. Of course, touch wood. Don't want to jinx the gremlins or whatever that are in the system. Anyway, how have you been since last week? I've been very busy. Again, still at work, doing lots of worky related things. Today I have spent 7 hours, maybe a bit more, in a lake with kayaks and paddle boards and inflatable rafts and all sorts of crazy stuff, and just being submerged in it for the entire day. Borderline hypothermia. Had a wicked day, absolutely wicked day. The lake's about 7, maybe 8 degrees Celsius, so yeah, it's really cold. It's okay once you're in it and you're moving around, but as soon as you stop to look at something, it's really freezing. I picked up a bit of a suntan. You'll notice that I've got some like goggles going on in the right light. It's really extreme. I don't really burn that much, I don't really tan that much. But obviously I've had a lot of glare from the lake. It's not really been a very sunny day. It's been quite overcast. But yeah, I'm a little bit frazzled and I'm a little bit tired. And I've really, really been looking forward to coming home in the warm and getting some miniatures painted with you guys. So if you're working on something this evening, I'd love to hear about it. I generally do get motivated and inspired by the stuff that you do. I get sent photos of all of your stuff through Facebook and Discord, and just privately as well. And I get to see all your really cool stuff. Keep it up, it's looking awesome, by the way. Like, there's some really, really cool stuff going on out there. Because I'm not just here on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Discord as well. So if you want to share your photos of all of your stuff, you could do it over there. Come and tell us all about it. I want to hear about it. Join in the live chat over here with these couple of people over here. I've got Shiv from Table of Horrors. Hi Shiv, how are you? And I've also got Kez. Hello Kez. I can see there's probably a few more people in the sidelines too. Hello to all of you who are watching. If you like what we do here, please do consider subscribing. I'm going to push the button. Is it going to work? Please do consider subscribing to the show. It didn't work. I have to go back to the old mouse days. This is going back. I don't like this. Please subscribe. It would make my day if you do. It gets the word of Easy 8 out there. It's obviously how the community grows. So yeah, please, if you haven't already, or if you know someone who might benefit from the show, get them to hit the subscribe button. Get them to come along. Maybe invite some people over. Get a few beers over your house. Put the screen on. Get it on all your phones so that the view count goes up, because then other people can find out too. Because that's how it works. What you should do though, right now, is hit the thumbs up button. Go on, give it a little push. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea while you do that. I'll give you a couple of seconds. This is a cup of tea that my partner made. Let's see if it's good enough. A little on the milky side, but perfect temperature, perfect sweetness. Yum, yum, yum. So thanks for hitting the thumbs up button if you did. Please don't forget to do that, because every time you interact with the show, whether you give it a thumbs up, a subscribe, maybe you hit the bell icon, maybe you're chatting in the live chat, maybe you're just chatting in the comments later on when the show's not live anymore. All of those interactions, make the algorithm more for us. All hail the algorithm. Steve Jenkins has joined us. Do it! He's really in for the thumbs up. Yep, he's like the thumbs up guardian. Thanks, Steve. Hi, Steve. Hope you're doing well, mate. Cool. So, have you guys done anything since last week? I have done some stuff since last week. In fact, I did it like a day or two after, I think, where what I did, because last week I spent that entire time panel lining with oil paints, I spent the next day cleaning it all up, because I was not very accurate with my panel lining. I really like the idea of using oil paints for that sort of thing. I just wasn't very good at it. But the very good thing about using oil paints is it doesn't matter how long ago you put it on there. If you agitate it with the right substance, namely thinners, you can use white spirit if you want to. I just prefer thinners. I don't know why. They do the same thing. I don't know what the real difference is. I think white spirit or whatever is more for cleaning, but like your brushes, etc. Thinners are for thinning the paint. Anyway, whatever it is that you use, it doesn't matter how old the paint is that you put on there. It agitates it, and it kind of, thins it back down again. So it's really easy just to mop up the big splodges that you left all over the place. And I'm really happy with where I am at so far. I didn't want it to be a big grungy look. I didn't want it to be that kind of grim dark feel, because you can really go to town with all the oil paints. I wanted just a little bit of panel lining. That's all I wanted. I wanted some depth into the recesses of the model that I'm painting. I've still got a little bit of that to do today, and maybe at the end of the show I can go and clean it up. I did find that it's nice to leave it for like almost 24 hours-ish for the oil paints to dry. They actually dry with a slight glossiness to them because I've thinned them down as well. And it's all those different things. It's the oil paints and the thinners, the chemicals that I'm using. They tend to have... but for a few hours after you think they've dried, they are still not necessarily dry. It takes a little while for it all to evaporate, and it leaves like a semi-gloss or almost glossy sort of stain around it. Now you can eliminate that, of course, by varnishing over it, but that means you can't then go back in with the thinners and do any work. But once you put varnish on it, you lock it all in. But you know, if you leave it for a day, maybe two, I have discovered that all that shininess goes away and you're left with a really nice matte product that then you can still go in and clean up afterwards if you want to. So, if you are using oils and you're using thinners and all those sorts of things and you do some work and it looks really cool, I think it's best to wait before you varnish it in case, you know, for whatever reason you want to go and tidy it up. Varnishing it will cover it up, but whatever. It's looking really cool, and I'm really happy with it. I've got some more work to do. Christoulis has joined us. Hi, Christoulis. Nice to see you again, mate. Hope you're doing well. Easel into it. Very nice. I haven't got an easel. I'd love to have an easel. I'd love to be good enough to draw or paint, etc. with an easel, if that makes sense. Like, I'd like to be good enough to have an artist's canvas, and I'm not very good at drawing. When I was a kid, I loved drawing. I don't know if I was any good at it. It's... unless you got, like a real prodigy child who's like Bob Ross or whatever, or like the next Michelangelo. Kids like just draw and they have fun when you go, oh, that's good. I don't think I was ever a prodigy. I think I just liked drawing. I drew a picture of a T-Rex once from Jurassic Park when the film first came out, so this must have been 93, and I would have been 12, and everyone loved it. It was brilliant, and I drew it in a little box and I bordered it and everything. But I traced it, and people thought that I drew it and was like, oh man, you're so good. No, I'm dog toffee at drawing. Wish I was really good though. Steve says, Danny, I'm not letting you get away with it. What is a tongle sensation? If you don't know what a tongle sensation is, then you're not allowed to know. It's going to leave a lot of questions in the live chat, I know, right? Nice tip, Danny. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, it's just... I've just noticed whenever I use oil paints, it always leaves a shiny thing there, and then I end up doing other things around it. I'll paint over it, and then it's always still there, whatever. But if you just leave it, it does evaporate. And I don't know what the difference really is between thinner and white spirit. They're both the same. If you get the odourless ones, they both don't smell, so whatever. John's joined us. Hi, John. Nice to see you again, mate. We haven't caught up for such a long time, but I have seen the thumbnail for your new video, the Judge Death. I'm really looking forward to watching that. Just been crazy busy at work. I will try to watch it. I just did a burp. I'm so sorry. I will try to watch your video over the weekend. Hi all. Hope you are all well. I'll watch the replay tonight. Working on Space Wolves next. Ooh, that's so cool. John, happy hobbying. Adrian's also joined us. Hello, Adrian. Evening all. No progress past what has been posted to Easy8's Discord page as I'm typing this from Montacute Ward in Musgrove Park Hospital. Well, get better, mate. I hope you recover quickly. Don't be in there too long, yeah? Then it might be sugar-free. It might be, actually. Do you know what? I'm on a little bit of a diet, so perhaps thinners is better than the full fat white spirit. Your thumbs are still working, Adrian. Like the video. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks. It seems to be like a self-assigned task that you've taken on there, Steve, and I like that initiative. That's going to get you very far in the in the corporation that is Easy8. Yeah, we're talking big wigs, big money. You need a little earring and a little polo neck now, and a soft top Saab. That would suit the whole profile. The thinner make you thinner. It probably would if I chugged that down I'd probably lose a few pounds. Please drink responsibly. Don't drink your products, guys. Anyway, look, do you know what? That's enough of that malarkey. I'm going to head straight over to the workbench. If I can find the appropriate button, I'm going to give it one more go. Find the appropriate button and workbench. No, it's not working on there. I need to maybe reset it. Workbench. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So here are some components to the big Space Marine that I'm painting. As you can see, no real major changes apart from the fact that there is some like depth in the recesses or whatever. Nothing major. It almost looks like I haven't done anything. I have. I do need to put a bit more black in here because it was too thin for these really big vents or whatever. But this grill, this grate or whatever, you can see is outlined by a bit of black. In fact, there's actually only a little bit on this particular piece here. There's this little panel here, for example. It is in the edges, the corners of around like this panel here on the side of this, whatever that is. It's if it doesn't have it on it, you really notice the difference. So it's such a subtle thing, but it makes it just look more quality. If I take you to the leg pieces that I was painting, I remember when I was painting these last week, and I was just doing like little lines, and I didn't know whether to go around the outside edge of these like bolt-on plates, if you like, until my dad Jeff, who's just joined us, hi Dad, well, I was asking, do you think I should, put a bit of panel line around these? Jeff was shouting, just outline them for God's sake. So what I did, and it makes a hell of a difference. Thank you for the nudge. So basically, anywhere it looked like that there was a corner or a recess or something like that, I, plopped all this black ink down, and then I spent the next day just mopping it all up, and it looks really, really tidy, and I'm really, really happy with it. I don't know on the camera if you can tell. There is a difference in, see this scratch. That is a deliberate scratch, by the way. I haven't done it by accident. That's modelled on there. This scratch here doesn't have any panel liner in it, compared to like this little detail, whatever that is. This little effort has got it in there, and you can tell the difference in the contrast in the depth. This artificial depth has a lot more visual excitement to it. So yes, it was a big deal. It was absolutely worth doing it. Originally, it was just for the grey hosiery. So yeah, I've got the 2 legs are done. I dropped all of them and I snapped the stake in it for like the 2nd time. Yay me. I've done the backpack. I've done the torso, which is kind of really cool. I've done both of the shoulder pads. When I was doing the shoulder pads, it looked like that the pre-shading on them was unequal. But now I'm holding them side by side, I think they look okay. You can see that the pre-shading going around the edges of the rims on those shoulder pieces. Quite nice. I've also got it going around the outside of this emblem. This emblem's going to be painted a different colour, but you can see that there is some shading in there, and it just makes it look that much better. All of the shininess has disappeared from the products that I was using, because it's been sat there for about 5 or 6 days. And it looks really, really nice. There's a slight shine to it, because obviously every surface really has a reflective property to it. But there's no glossy nature to it, and I really like this. That is a really nice finish where you need to do a bit more work. But I can see, if I can point maybe with this brush, do a little bit of a tidy up here. And I can do a bit of a tidy up here. And a bit here. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. I'm slurring my words a little bit. I've been in some very cold environs today. Actually hypothermic, but I was probably, if I spent another half an hour in that lake today, I probably would be hypothermic. So I'm a little at the moment, but I'm all well, I'm all good, don't worry. I love what I do. It was fantastic fun. Steve says, what level do I need to get promoted to find out what a Tongle sensation is? Now, unfortunately, at your level currently, that information is restricted. To find out, you need to join my cult. Club, you need to join my club. So, do I need to do any panel work on this? Yes, I do. I don't remember putting black in here. but I think, yes, I did, because I remember trying to basically lift the skirt, so to speak. So these little guards, they're called cuisse on a real suit of armour. They're flappy, and I remember trying to get the black shader, and if I lift it a little bit, I can see that, yes, there is some black shader in there. So I've done the black pipework on here, but I haven't done any of the panels. There isn't an awful lot to do on here. There's a couple of layers here, as you can see, and a little effort mousetrap thing there. I could do a little bit that basically runs in here, just to create some visual separation of the two pieces. And I could also do a little bit around the belt buckle. So that's what I could do there. I did play around with some browns just because I was having fun painting. I'll put some brown on these little leather pouches. I would really like to be able to do, like, you can see all the really wonderful talent that's out there on YouTube. I would love to be able to do like proper decent leather stuff. So maybe when I'm getting quite close to finishing it, I'm going to do some detail work on the leather and actually have a go at doing some proper good stuff. And I've got to work out what colour I want to paint the grenade. I'd like to have the grenade in an unusual colour that kind of stands out a little bit, because it's a piece of gear, isn't it? It's a piece of war gear. It needs to stand out. Doesn't want to blend it away. When people look at it, go, "Oh, that guy's got a grenade. That's probably a big deal." And we've got like a little totem here. This is like a little sword hanging down the side, like a little key fob or something, because the emblem that is resplendent on this guy's shoulder is a sword with wings. So he's got like a little, just like a little, not a trophy, but just like a little trinket hanging from the side of his pouch, which is quite cool. So I could probably paint that silver or something. I don't know, So I've got to do some more black on that one. And got the two arms. Which, did I clean these up as well? I remember putting some black in the hand, not in the hand grips, but actually just like in the palms and in the elbows. But I still need to do the outlining on all the armour parts there. Look at the other arm. Here we go, got the other arm there as well. Got some little buttons or lights or whatever on here. A lot of people do this as like a little screen with information on it. That would be lovely if I could do some OSL on there as well. That would be great. But that's a much later on detail. I'll do that when I've actually got it, the model all together. We're not far from doing that. I want to get all this panel lining done first. I'm going to whack a load of varnish on it so that it dries with a bit of protection. And then I'll start constructing it. And at that point I'm going to get quite nervous because it takes a lot of effort to press fit this all together. Some of them will just pop together, others they will not go so willingly. Obviously I've got to remove all the sticks. They were super glued, so there'll be a bit of filing or chopping or whatever in there as well. So that's the whole project in and of itself. So yay for projects. Right, so I'm just going to get straight into it. Last time I made the black inky stuff a little too runny, so I want to make sure, one of the things I want to try and get consistent at is making good consistency of all the bits and pieces. We've got a couple more people joining us at the moment. We've got Staff has joined us. Hi Staff, nice to see you again, pal. How you doing? We've got Crumbs has joined us as well. Hi Crumbs. Pay penance by pressing the like button. Lost track of time. Evening Peep says Crumbs, and hit the like button already. Good for you. Do it again, but then again afterwards because it unlikes it. I always do warpstone green on frag grenades. Oh, interesting. Orange for the grenade? Yeah, maybe. Boom rock on the side of it, or is that too orky? Boom rock, boom rock on what part? On the screen? I do like a little MTV thing on there, can I? Like make it look like he's watching some telly. Black inky stuff is the scientific term, I believe. Yeah, yes, why not? Let's get some black inky stuff on the go. First things first, been a week of not doing anything up here, so I'm just going to dust everything off. As I notice, it seems to attract a little bit of dust. There's no other way of saying it. I'm just going to give everything a little bit of a brush over. Do it all now. Every now and again I get like a little stubborn thing on there. And I use my fingernails and then just try and remove it, but I always get quite concerned I'm going to scratch the paint. So if it's on there, I'm not going to fuss. Who cares? care. Can't see any dust on some parts, but I'm still going to dust it anyway. See how dusty my house is. Cats, man. If you've got cats, get some cats that don't mind being brushed. My cats don't really like it very much. So everything's got fluff on it everywhere. Little Britain reference there. Oh, right, Boomrock on the grenade. Yeah, I could put some writing on it. Yeah, some big old lumpy bits of dust stuff on there too. One of the other things I wanted to do with the, I'm going to call it the hosiery because it looks like hoses. So I wanted to highlight the edges as well. So with a really thin down, slightly lighter grey, it's just the outer edges of it. And it shouldn't take too long. It shouldn't do. I don't want to go like absolutely crazy with it, but I just want to create a little bit more depth in some of this stuff here. I don't want it to like stand out too much, but I want it to, you know, want the viewer to be able to see that it is a part of it and not just an afterthought, so to speak. Okay, enough of that fannying around. Excuse me. Yum yum. I am so tired. I haven't paddled that much in all my life. In a very, very deep lake. Wicked fun though. Just a little smattering like that. That's probably going to go quite a long way though, to be fair. Got so many things on the table, a bit cluttered now. Right. Thinners from Ammo Mig. Bought this from Brooks Models. Go check out Brooks Models. There's a link to them in the description. Go check them out, but do that later because you're with me now, and it would be rude of you to leave me. Rude. So, I like to decant all of my terps and things like that with little droppers because it stops you from dirtying everything. I'm just going to put a couple of drops in there for now. See where that gets me. Did me, or is my camera on a slight tilt? Is that any better? Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? Weird. Let's get a mixing brush. Don't need some more thinner in there. It has thinned it, but it's not made it runny. So another 2 drops. Does anybody else use oil paints at all? Do you thin your paints down to kind of do this sort of project? You can buy this already like pre-made. Ammo Mig and AK Interactive both make them, and they're almost like little like mascara pots where you got like a little brush built into the lid, and it's got a really narrow, really long, really thin point brush, and it's already mixed to the right consistency, and all you got to do is just dab it in and just watch it run. Really popular amongst the Gundam community, and I would love to have a go at it, but also at the same time, you know, make it, right? Have some fun. If anybody like out there in the community makes their own, like this, give me some advice because I'm very new to this. This is a very unfamiliar territory. I feel quite rubbish at it. I mean, as you can see, I've put in several drops, and I'm not really getting a change in consistency right now. Get there at some point, I'm sure. Oh, it's starting to run a little bit, but not run enough. Kind of got to want to bleed away on its own when I drop it into the little recesses, etc. I'm going to put a little bit of thinner, neat thinner onto the surface that I'm going to paint it onto, and that should help draw the colour away. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to put just 2 more drops in here. I think should probably do it. Staff's already on the run. Do you know what, mate? It's Friday. You do you. Okay, that looks like it's decently runny. Decently runny. I'm going to put my brush there because I've got oil paint on it now. I don't want to get it in the water. Okie dokie. So, let's get the piece that I'm going to paint. This piece here. I'll get my army painter brush. I've got a little bit of the cleaning soap in it, so just going to rinse that out. It's always good to leave a little bit of soap in there. If you're using like the Masters stuff, helps just condition the bristles and helps keep a shape in there as well. Okay. Kindred Lupus sends his apologies as he has an early one tomorrow. That is absolutely fine. You don't have to come to the show. I just put it out there to bring people together. If you've got your own life doing your own thing, everyone's got it, man, so don't feel like you have to apologise, but thank you so much for reaching out anyway. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, but that could just be the height of there. I prefer the 100 Cousins to the 1,000 Sons. Yeah, a slightly watered down version, right? Anyone notice how Gundam have been taking over the 40k space recently? No, I haven't. I don't really pay an awful lot of attention to it. Occasionally, I see quite a bit of Gundam stuff if I was searching for particular painters or some of their techniques and ideas and whatnot. But I don't really see much of a bleed over. It'd be interesting though, so share some of your thoughts on it. Kez says, I forgot now who did the survey, but it was on most played tabletop games and Battletech was second, so that was cool. Who came up on top then? Most played tabletop games and Battletech came second. Just making sure that you haven't put it in there. Who came first? Oh, interesting. It must be 40k, right? 40k must be the most played tabletop game. I've just got that feeling, right? It's cool, yeah, and Shiv's absolutely right. Battletech often feels overlooked. Yeah, 40k came first. Yeah, look at that. Let's scramble. So back in the early days, I believe Battletech was very, very popular, and then its fan base died off. Kez might be able to shed a little bit more light on that. It might have something to do with the fact that it's had several owners over the years, but that might have been the response to its popularity, right? Oh, our fan base isn't really there anymore, let's sell it on. The original owners have come back, however. Right. I'm gonna get some stain action in there. Down the sides of this buckly thing. It's a buckle, it's not a thing. That'll be enough for a second. Okie dokie, I also have some soap in the end of this brush too. It's cleaning off. Lovely. So I'll put a bit of thinner down on the surface that I want to drop this runny oil paint into. Like I say, it helps draw the colour out, makes the colour bleed a little bit more. So if I just was to drop this in the microphone, if I was to just touch the brush in, a loaded brush in, it should just instantly kind of run away. Now I know that I'm not necessarily the closest here. Okay, I'm going to do this little bear in here. Yeah, a little bit. I could be better, but it's still fun. yeah, it is almost the perfect consistency. I'm just not very accurate with it. Sides of the buckle. And that's one of those areas that I'll definitely come in and neaten it up later on. I'll just have this brush with some clean thinner on it, and I can just neaten up the edges where that black line is. Yeah, I've kind of got it all over the place there. But that's fine. When I was doing the cleanup the following day, I thought it was going to be quite a lengthy and laborious task. It was actually quite brief when I got into the swing of it, and it was actually quite therapeutic. It was quite nice to be able to effectively tidy up a bit of an ugly job. The fact that it was really quick made it feel like it was the right. Ooh. So that's just added a little bit of definition to the details on the front of that piece. Yeah. Gonna get some air. Not really running as far as I wanted to. I should be able to like make contact. You should see a line just kind of just strike out. Might just be that I need to put a bit more thinner in there. Let's see. Maybe I just didn't have enough paint in my brush. Neither of those problems were solved. There's so much reflection in there I can't see where my black line is anyway. Okay, well, I think I got it. Next. I think I should put a black outline around these bits on the leather pouches. Even though I want to do the leather thing later on, I think I should do it now. Same as everything else. So I will. Now all of this is painted with acrylic paint. Like I said before, oil-based or enamel-based paints won't be affected by acrylic. And the other way, so you can just paint straight on over the top of them. I'm going to do the green. I might repaint the grain, I might paint it different colours later on, but too much thinner on the area that I want to paint the black paint onto. Paint doesn't want to actually go anywhere because it has already been taken up. Space has already been taken up by the thinner. Interesting. I'll neaten it up later. You can see that's awful, isn't it? Look at that black all over the place. But I've not got any issues with that. Not going to worry about that at all. Because I know I can come back. Almost getting the right effect here. Isn't wipes. Supposed to. I get a bit too crazy with the outlining. I run a risk of it looking like get what the term is, like closed cell, where it basically looks like comic book art. And if that's a look you're going for and you do it well, it looks really good. But it will look very out of place on this model. It's not the colour style that I'm going for. There's going to be a lot of neatening that up. Should be able to do it at the end of the show. I'll be okay. No, I think maybe it needs another drop. Could be the worst thing ever. Very thin in that brush, just flicked it all over the worktop, look. Yikes. I suppose. Ooh, I made a hash of that. Yeah, I'm making a bad show of that. Yikes. one last little bit to do, which I think if I didn't do it would look really out of place, is just across the tops of the crease. I've got the shakiest hands in the world today. God damn you, really cold weather and conditions. I'd be really upset if that was acrylic. Oil is so much more forgiving. Look at that. That is absolutely gosh darn awful. Might as well just be using a house brush at this point. Do you know what? I'll tidy it up later. It's in there, whatever. Yikes. That was difficult. 2 more parts to go. Good lordy. Need some tea. Looks like Stafford has yet more run-related problems. I know Stafford on a personal level to the audience. He doesn't have a problem. It's just a Friday, right? My face is feeling tweet. What a wonderful day. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week, by the way. I didn't even say that earlier. Like, I genuinely hope you've had a good old time. So I can see that I've done some black bits across the back of the hand here. I've been a little bit untidy. I can't remember if that was as I was doing the palms, which I definitely did do, and then just thought while I'm at it, I'll just do the back of the hands quick. It looks like they've been done well enough that I'm not really going to care too much. Yeah, I'm okay with it. A bit more. I don't want to clean it up now, even though it is, you know, it's perfectly dry to clean up. If I did start like agitating it, I'd only be adding paint into my clear thinner. I'm just gonna I'll add a quick line. That'll be quick, a bit agitated. Hands are fine then. Let's go around the wrists and then work our way up. And do the whole forearm in one go. Got a brush that's not saturated. I dip it, tap it off, dab it off on a piece of paper, a piece of tissue paper, and then as I wipe it on, it starts to evaporate a little bit. I just let it sit there for a bit because otherwise there's too much on there. Loaded brush. Hopefully. That's where. shakiest hand today. I'm just going to have to deal with that and know that I'm going to be going back in to clean it up anyway. So I'm not going to just go in haphazard or willy-nilly like, because that's just being lazy. I try and minimise the absolute disastrous steadiness to trying to be neat, bit all over the place. Absolutely fine though. Like, yeah, definitely could read. That's everywhere. Come on, Danny. Better than this. But we're almost there, aren't we? Around the bottom end of this elbow cup, the thinner has evaporated almost entirely, so I'm going to go in and wake that area up a little bit there. Lovely. One of the fears that I've got about this is that because all the joints are all still posable, I haven't glued them in position, is that when I start putting them together and it moves, it will scratch all the paintwork off, or I move them into a position where the paint hasn't got to. I've tried to get him into the correct position as best as possible, and I've tried to retain that position, and in some cases that was difficult. I think I've got it though. When I build him back together again and things move out of line, at least it's a reference point so that I could just pop him back into the position where paint doesn't show, or sorry, gaps in the painting doesn't show. Put a bit down the back of the hand there, didn't I? Let's do a little bit down there as well. Okay. I'm not going to do any down the back of this one here because there's a big gap in there. There wasn't on here, so I put a false shadow on it, so that for me is enough there. Happy with that. Let's leave that alone. Over to this one. The hand on this one's a lot darker because it's underneath, so when I did the zenith, all the brightness is on top rather than on the underside. Didn't do any shading on this one, so let's get. And all my eyes have gone glazy. Again, it feels like I haven't got enough thinner in my paint. So I'm just going to add another drop. And I'm not going to mix it in. I'm going to use that as like a, I don't know, a rogue drop of thinner in the dish there. Just want the paint to kind of run a bit freer. That's perfect. There we go. Yeah, that was good. Not enough hands. Same again with the elbow piece. Only feel like I need to add a fake shadow on the bottom end of it. Just a heavy dollop that I just plopped in there, but again I can neaten it up later. I'm not really fussed. It's going well though. I'm happy with where we're at. We are at the halfway point though. Can you believe it already? We're already an hour in. Crazy, crazy. Mike Turner's also joined us. Probably joined us for a little while now. I've not been looking at the live chat because it's so chatty. Every time I look at it, there's like a new conversation in there. Yep, more people talking about tongling. Yep, I've told you. I can't tell you anything about that. You're not high enough level. He is being rather aloof on the subject, almost like he is recalling a bad memory every time you ask him. Nope, not at all. You're just not good enough to know. Sorry. Yeah, blow it out your ear. Also, that is not tongling. I am being so bad with my accuracy today. That is just a big blob of black paint right in the middle of a bit that doesn't want any. Eesh. Right. Do you know what? I'm going to see if I can actually try and tidy that up because that is terrible. Do that. Okay, that is all of the outlining done on the whole model so far. There might be places where I want to add more, but I can't see where that is yet. So I'm going to let that evaporate, let that dry. I'll leave those bits till right at the end of this show. So I'm going to put the arms and the space pants to a side because they need to sit there and dry for the afternoon, so the evening even. And then with the rest of it, I think from here I can start varnishing it to kind of protect it so I can start putting it back together again. I'm sure I just need to think about it properly before I commit to that, but I think that's where we're at. Like, all the painting's been done, all the base painting's been done. Zenithal is highlighted, it's got shadow. I've done all the panel lining on it. I suppose before I got to constructing I could probably do the highlighting on the, I'm going to call it the hosiery, it sounds funny, doesn't it? Or the hosey bits, or the Under Armour bits. So that might be a good thing to do before I start reconstructing it. Also, it might be nice to reconstruct it off air in case I absolutely ruin everything. It won't be on the international web. Yeah. There we go. Cool. Gonna finish my tea. That was a bit too much in the cup for one big swig. And I'm going to return after the halftime bit with a grown-up juice because it's a Friday. Now, I'm not drinking an awful lot lately because I'm just trying to be careful of the stuff that I eat and drink. Got a lot of weight over winter. I wasn't doing anything and just eating and drinking. So I only allow myself now one drink at the end of a Friday, which is lovely, isn't it, to share that with you? So, yeah, maybe, Stafford, you should have a coffee. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to be 10 minutes. I'll see you back here in a few. Until then, go change your paint water or something. See ya! welcome back. Hope you had a good break. I just realised that I'm so tired, stairs are very difficult. Anyway, I went and got myself a nice vodka and coke. So to all of you here who are here, God, I'm so tired. To all of you who are here, or maybe watching back later on, happy weekend, happy spring, because it's meteorological spring now. Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. The perfect ratio there, not too much. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming along. If you like what we do, please do subscribe to the show. Hit the button, but it's still not working today. If you like what we do, please subscribe to the show. My stream deck's really not happy today. Yeah, it only gets better if you share with people that you think might benefit from a show like this. It's just a community of people just getting together, painting their models together. A club that's online, I suppose you could say. I'm nothing special. I do learn as I go. Hopefully I retain some of that information. Hopefully I have shown improvement over the years. I think I have. You guys certainly have, because you keep sharing me photos of all the really cool stuff that you guys are doing. Please keep doing that. I'd love it if you would show me some more, because your stuff is way better than mine. It's really good. If you want to share photos of your stuff, Facebook and Discord. I'm going to hit my microphone. Facebook and Discord. I also share some of my stuff over on Instagram. Links to all of our platforms are down there, downstairs. And if you want to go and check out any cool links to people that I've met along the way, painters, builders, whatever, product suppliers, everything, it's all down there. Go check them out, but do it later, because you're here with me now. And if you haven't done so already, I'll give you a second to go and do it. Hit the thumbs up button, because Steve will be all over you if you don't. Yeah, so there you go. I'm sorry, Steve, but you're not licensed to say Tongle like that, so don't. I told you, you're not licensed, all right? Try a stream, and if your stream deck isn't working. You tried so hard on that one, I'm going to let you have it, all right? No, that's not working. I can't do that. Stop pushing the buttons. Right. If you're new to the show, we're not all mad here, but it definitely helps. Yes, it does. Well, I'm also not always that tired, or have been in a freezing lake all day, so therefore borderline hypothermic. I just went downstairs to go and get myself a Coke, and my partner says, "You look very burned." I'm like, "Yeah." I don't know if you can quite see it on the camera right now, but I have sunglasses. It's just the lake just bounces the UV off, and I am like a crisp. So yeah, look after yourselves in the weather, even if you don't think it's that bad. Ooh, hiccups. Stream and probably smashed driving a Mini. I don't know if that's appropriate. If you're new to the show, then how is a Raven like a writing desk? What are you guys talking about? Like, the live chat is so chatty lately. I literally don't know these people anymore. Anyway, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, like the show, come and have a chat with us, because apparently they're all bonkers. Back to the workbench. Here we go. So I've just put to the side the bits I've just finished painting, and now I'm going to move the bits away that don't have any hosiery on them. Hosiery is the right word now. So the helmet and the two shoulder pads. Just going to pop those to the side over there. Thank you. The backpack, it does have a little hose thing on it, just here. I'm going to deal with that one a little bit later on, because it's a little bit different. But otherwise, there's nothing on there that I'm really worried about right now, so I can go over there too. Here's a really good piece to start with, because it's just so large. So I've got the neck piece right here, and I've got the ribs down the side here. There's also these little, they look like straps to hold the backpack in place. It's just a cool little detail, isn't it? I'd like to be able to put a lighter grey highlight on these. It's going to be in acrylic, so yeah. I will need to clean my paintbrush out. So yeah, I'm not doing any more of the black for now. Pop that over there, please. I've got two greys. This is the grey that I used to paint the hosiery in with, which is Corvus black. It's not really black, it is just a really dark grey. Hi Darren, thanks for coming along, mate. Nice to see you again. I've also got like this lighter grey. I think that's too light to go on to this. This will stand out too much. But I'm going to have a go, at mixing these two, and it might get like a nice, meet in the middle sort of thing. I'm thinking sort of 2/3 this one, 1/3 that one. We'll see what it looks like. Of course, This is acrylic. It's not going to bother any of the oils or the enamels or thinners or whatever that I was playing with earlier on. These parts are all cleaned up and ready to go. The parts that I've just done, they're going to probably have to wait until tomorrow. I'm going to clean them up at the end of the show. They'll probably have to wait until tomorrow before I can confidently paint the acrylic over the top. I should be able to do it straight away, but I just, you know, it's going so well. Why risk it for a biscuit? I'll stop saying that. That's just stupid. So yeah, give me a second while I just clean my stuff out. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I've got quite a grubby little brush there. I need to get some white spirit, just some like rough white spirit, just for cleaning brushes out. Really. Got some downstairs. It just smells. I like it. And of course, if you buy odorless stuff, it's often for hobbies, so it's a little bit more expensive because, you know, it's for hobbies. Let's put a little pool in my palette over there for cleaning out brushes. Starting with the little brush because there's less in it to clean. Excellent. Grab the odd. Okay. Because they've had some pretty strong, horrible stuff in them, I'm going to just clean them out with some soap. Even if you've got rubbishy brushes, folks, you should probably spend a bit of time cleaning your brushes, looking after them, because they'll last longer. Even if you've got like real cheap synthetic ones, you know, from the pound store or the dollar store or whatever. And a little tub of this paint's about 4 or 5 quid, so nothing to lose. Look how much is in there as well. Gallons of it, literal gallons. I like to use my hand at this point for cleaning the brushes because you always get like a build up down by the ferrule in here, and I can actually see it in this brush. It needs a really good dedicated clean out. Paint really festers down there, and as it starts to dry it builds up. It's a catchment for other or for more paint, and it snowballs away from itself and it ends up pushing all the bristles out of alignment. So that's why, you know, brushes do that over a period of time. So by working in a lather without damaging the bristles on a hard surface, it can be quite aggressive. So just doing it in the palm of my hand here just means that my skin's got a bit of give to it. And it's a free hand wash at the same time. Wow. Does that help with the tongle? You're all losing points. I hope you know that. I'm going to be getting like messages throughout the week now. Discord and Facebook. What's a tongle? If you find out, you'll be very disappointed. Don't really have to worry about cleaning this brush out too much. This one here had just the thinner. It had no paint in it, so just wanted to give it a bit of a condition after that. But I do notice it needs a bit of a clean, so just going to pop that there. Feels a bit rubbish on the hands, a bit sticky. And this Master's soap, the brush cleaner, preserver, good for oil, paint, watercolor, acrylic, stains. So it's good for pretty much everything that we use it for. So worth investing, I think. I used to have some liquid cleaner from Green Stuff World, and it came in a bottle like this, and it was good. It was good. I went through it a lot quicker, for sure, and it was a similar price. So, you know, do the math. Rightio. Sticky and uncomfortable. There we go. Lovely. So I'm gonna mix up some of these greys. I'm gonna do it in this little white spot over here. So I've got Corvus Black, stuck well and truly closed. Oh, there we go. I've got Eshin Grey. Eshin Grey could do with a bit more of a shake. I think that the pot of these colours has been, so the lid has been pushed up a little bit from the paint drying in there. So the paints have started to dry a little bit, but they are still very much usable. Which is so. I'm going to get my mixie brush here because it's good for just paints out. And I'm going to get one big brush load of that colour. Going to get another big brush load of it. So we're going to go ratio 2 to 1. There we go. Wash it out so I don't contaminate the other paint. Just mix them, see what it comes out like. Maybe a 50-50 actually, looking at it now. It's quite dark. Okay, because I've now got a mixture of paint on the brush. Wash it out again. If I load this brush up, hold it up against the underside of the Eshin Grey, you can see that it's much darker than that, but it is significantly lighter than the Corvus Black, not Chaos Black. But it could be a little bit lighter. God dear, that is a tub that does not want to open. Yeah, it could be a little bit lighter, so okay. The colours haven't reacted in the way together that I thought they would do. So I'm going to add more Eshin Grey to this mix. That's the 3 to 2 in the other direction that I thought I'd need to go. Interesting development. Okay, I'm going to go with that because the grey that is on the model itself has already been stained with the black oil paint, so it's going to look darker in appearance anyway. So that might be a really good colour to use that I've made in here. GW paint has a habit of drying quite quickly because it's quite thick, I think. So I'm going to put a little bit of retarded medium in there, and that just slows down the drying rate of it. It's also going to dilute the paint a little. It's a bit like a gel, this stuff. It is a gel. Not a bit like a gel, it is a gel. But it will dilute it a little. So that will make the paint go a little bit further. And I'm going to add a little bit of thinner to it as well. Not a flow improver, that's just for the airbrush really. There we go. Just one drop of that. I'm just going to mix that together. Maybe I'll add another drop of thinner in a minute. I might do. I want it to be not like a glaze, but I want it to be, you know, not thick. GW paints, you definitely should be thinning your paints down because they are quite creamy. Add another drop of. Third one. Yeah, I am. That's a lovely consistency in there. Excellent. Okie dokie. So, what brush am I going to use? Probably going to use my Linsky Zero. It too has some conditioner, so I'm just going to wash that out as well. Now, at the initial brushstroke on that looks probably too light, but I'm just used to seeing it also dark on there, so it might actually be perfect, perfect colour for it. It's quite hard to tell. To me that looks okay. Quite hard to see with all the reflection going on in there, but the fact that it matches the reflection's a good thing. Gonna give the tool a bit of a twist. Get into that harder to reach area at the top there. What does everybody think of that? It looks quite nice, doesn't it? little trickier in the conditions in the studio here, just because the light is shining exactly in the place where I want to paint. And the reflection is hiding the colour that I'm painting on, so it's a bit tricky when I'm, painting on something that's quite dark. Anything that's reflective is where I'm going to be painting. The reflections just look the same. Now that it's all there, it actually looks quite subtle and just the right amount of brightness to it. I like it. That's gone really well. Oh, my concentration voice strikes again. Just going to take a second just to look at the live chat, just to refocus my eyes a little bit. Steve has got to go. Tea beckons. Enjoy your food, sir. Thank you very much for coming along and pushing the envelope for all of my likes for this show. If you haven't liked so far, please hit the thumbs up button. It's just down there somewhere. Yeah, down there somewhere. You'll find it. Looking really good. Really happy with it so far. Little tiny bit of perfectly white dust just landed in a really obvious place. I'm actually being quite rough with this. Like, I'm not trying to get a perfect mark with it at all. In fact, the roughness lends to the effect. Looks like it's not painted on, so therefore it's not a part of the intention of the armor or the coloring on it. It looks like it's highlights, like random reflections or other things that I can't think of that wouldn't be reflection. Excellent. Well, that looks really good, and it'll be much better when it's dry, so it'll be reflecting less. But actually, that's really making the grey stand out more, which is fantastic. I like it. I may have gone a bit heavier on this side than I did on this side, and I prefer that side more. But otherwise, that looks really good, and it's really avoiding what I wanted, which was avoiding what I was frightened of, which was it just being black with no depth whatsoever, just painting a whole area black, not putting any highlights on it, not having any kind of depth to it at all. By painting it a dark grey, staining it black accurately, going over this little highlight makes it look like what I wanted to look like, really. There was no special way of explaining that. I'm going to do the same on these bits here. They're much more narrow. They are squared rather than being a soft rounder edges. And that's fine. It just means that I'm going to have to be a bit more accurate. So I'm going to get the very fine brush for it, and I'm going to very deliberately put those lines on. That's going to be a bit of a tougher job to do. I've also got to do these rings around the collar on the neck piece there as well. But because those bits there are still wet, they'll take a little bit to dry. Just going to pop that piece to the side. Wonderful. And I can move on to other things like the legs. Yay. So the legs have hip pieces up here, and they've also got bits behind and in front of the knee. Doing in front of the knee is probably going to be a bit tricky because I need to sort of get in around the front. I could move the joint. I'm wary of wearing off the paint by doing that. I've moved them once while they've been painted. This would hopefully be the last time that I do that, so I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Just going to have a little check on more of the comments going in. Stafford is saying that he cusses Adrian for showing him the rubber on the tank wheels. We've all pointed that out before, man. It's got something against you there, Adrian. Yes, you're right, Mike. There is a solid euphemism in there. So people are saying that it's looking handsome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that as a comment. That was from Steve before he disappeared. Crumb says, if we get 50 likes, Danny will tell us what a tongle is. Nope. No. Get me to 250 subscribers and I'll tell you. And you'll be really disappointed. Right. Honestly, you will. Gonna wash the old brush out. Paint's getting a bit dry, a bit cloggy in there. A bit cloggy, claggy. Sitting up in the ferrule as well. Don't want that. No, no, no. Thank you. Wet the bristles. Dab the brush off. There we go. Paint. Odor up. Okie dokie. Try and lift this microphone. It's kind of in my way a little bit today. There we go. That's a little bit better. Put my arm under it. Ah, lovely. So to the hips. Make sure that you can see I'm a little bit out of frame as well today. That's not okay, is it? Really need to realign the camera. Bit trickier there. Some of the parts are quite small. Might have to move to the thinner brush. Oh, I've got shaky hands again. Darren's got to go. See you later, Darren. Take care, mate. Thanks for coming in again. Have a nice weekend, mate. A lot of changing of angles on this. You have to go to the smaller brush. Instantly better results. That was the right choice to do. Yeah, it's looking really good, isn't it? Bring on the cats. Yeah, they really want to come in here again. Dax just likes to sit in front of the camera and hog all of the limelight for himself. Okay, that looks really good. Happy with that. Okay, so there's a bit of a problem at the back of the knee. Clearly there's a joint lug in there where the pattern, if you like, doesn't really follow. I can only do what I can do, and so I'm just going to have some fun and just try not to take it. Just paint the bits that are there and then try to copy it across as best as possible. Like this. So I'm painting in the effect in areas where it doesn't exist. And it looks fine. And if I'm honest, I should have probably painted the front before the back because I'm going to have to probably pull it down. So let's do the front bit now. There we go. That is good access there. Ooh. We are coming up to the end of the show. Time just flies when you're having fun. Sorry to all of you who want it to carry on. All of you, I know. This is fun. I'm having a good time doing this. I've not seen anybody on YouTube or other media paint one of these marines and do these hose bits, these Under Armour bits in the same way. So I feel like I'm, to some extent, being quite original. Now, you probably tell me that there is someone out there who's done exactly what I'm doing. I haven't seen it, so the idea to me is original. Like, it was not something I saw someone else doing. That makes me feel good. Gone a bit thick and heavy on some of the instances in there, which wasn't really my intention. I quite liked it when it was a little less obvious. But it still works. Now I've got to close that up. Like that. Okay, now from a distance, if I was to look at that quite closely, I could see all the errors, I could see how I could make it better. If I hold it over here, I can see that there's depth in it, I can see that there's an obvious pattern in it, it doesn't look rough at all. It's detail behind the obvious colour scheme, the main attraction, which of course is all the green, and it looks like I spent a little bit of time, a little bit of attention, which I did do. It's exactly where I wanted it to be. That looks really, really good. I'm really happy with that. Really, really happy. I could have painted it a lighter grey and just stained it with an ink, gone in quite heavy with it, and just cleaned up the surfaces. And I reckon I would have got a very similar, maybe even a better result. But I've enjoyed this process, and I'm going to stay with this now because I've started it. So that's fine. It hasn't been too long. It hasn't been too arduous doing it. I've still got another leg to do, and then I'm going to do the strap in on the back of this guy here, his collar, and then there's like a little hose in there, which I'll do the same. And I'm going to do all those this evening. I've got maybe I could probably do the same on here. Those little pipes, but I might do those silver. I'm unsure how we're going to do those little pipes on the front of the helmet. Traditionally, whenever I've painted Space Marine helmets, these little breather pipes on the side, I've always done them silver, as I think the majority of people across the world do as well. Is it a little overused? Is it necessary? If I paint those silver, it's obviously going to be quite an attraction to the eyes when you're looking at it. But actually what I want to do is I want to bring attention to the eyes themselves. So if I did something down there, it might distract on what the whole article is. So I think these will be in the same grey. I think that's the right thing to do, which means that there's probably more staining to do, but that's fine, honestly. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on what I'm doing so far, because when I get things right, it's nice to hear that people like it. When I get things wrong, I like to hear your thoughts on what I could do to improve it. So please do tell me. Just be nice. Just make sure that I've caught up on all of the live chat here. Talking of cats, my boy Jigsaw turns 14 on Monday, the little panther that he is. Oh, bless him. Happy 14th birthday, Jigsaw. 14, what an age too. Yeah, he'd be sleeping like normal, of course. Easy 8, where all the ideas are originally Danny's, unless you've seen them elsewhere. 60% of the time, they're mine all the time. If you leave a like, Danny may select to come to your house and whisper Basilicana wash as you sleep. No. Drink! Because he said Basilicana wash. That's 2, isn't it now? Drink responsibly. Anyway, look, enough of hanging around here on the workbench. Let's get away from this crazy place. Where's my buttons? There they are. Brilliant. A nice evening. Thank you for your company this evening. I apologise for being so tired. I am absolutely exhausted, but in the positive way. I had a really good day at work. I spent all day, like 7 hours plus on the lake. I can feel all the blood starting to get around the extremities now, like my fingers are starting to come back alive. But I'm just really tired and trying to focus my eyes. And just how embarrassing would it be if I just fell asleep midstream? Someone's got to have done that somewhere, right? Like my eyes are glazing over, they're not staying open when I rub them. Yeah, absolutely shattered. Been a good day for it. So apologies for being a little rougher around the edges. Apologies for not talking properly. And for just being an idiot with the paintbrush. I'm just like, that'll do. I hope you guys have got some productivity out of this evening. I'd love to see any of your stuff, so if you want to take pictures of it, then you can share it with the community and myself on the Facebook page. You can also put it on the Discord page as well if you prefer to frequent either one of them, or both. Why not? I read absolutely everything that comes my way. I try my best to reply to everything as well. Just at the moment with work, as you all know, I'm very busy. Sometimes I don't get around to it at the moment, and that makes me feel bad inside. I would love to be able to respond to everything as I always do, but rest assured I see everything, and it's really nice to see, and other people see it as well. So please do feel free to share your pictures of your stuff if you want to. You get extra points if you share pictures of your cats, because I like cats, and so does everybody else. So yeah, there we go. I hope you've had a good evening this evening. Let us know how you've been getting on. If you like what we do here, please do consider subscribing to the show. My buttons aren't working, so I've got to hit it here. Subscribe, please. Share word of Easy 8 out there with your friends, your colleagues, your family, some strangers. Bring them along, not the strangers. Keep them at arm's distance. You don't know who they are. But bring your friends over to your house. Maybe have a little evening together. Have a beer, have a pretzel. because that's a staple English diet. You know what I mean, though. Get some friends over and get everybody on their own individual devices, because it makes the viewer count go up, and that affects the algorithm. All hail the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow, blah, 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 blah. All the standard influencer talk, which I just don't care for, and hopefully you appreciate that. There we go. Don't leave the buttons alone. They're not working. Just step away from the Stream Deck. Use the mouse. Use the mouse, Luke. Cool. I'm so tired. I'm going to be over at Discord for another 20 minutes or so. If you want to come and join me and some of the guys over there for a quick video chat while I finish up doing some of this grey painting, I'm having a great time, but I am about to collapse. So you can buy Danny's bathwater soon. Why are you saying these words? Anyway, that is honestly enough for me now. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. Stay in touch, and I will do my very best to be here next week. I am working Thursday night into Friday. I think that I will still be here normal time, but keep your eyes peeled on the time for next week. Because of my commitments at work, I might have to make next Friday slightly later, so it could be the first 8 till 10 show. But I'll let you know how it goes. Hit the bell icon, find out when I go live if you can't rely on my timekeeping. In the meantime, until next week, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting, and get some colour on your grey. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Love it when the music times out properly. Don't touch the buttons. Step away from the buttons. Bad buttons.